Cook with Rheanna, it's a tasty scene. Chop a dice, you make it clean. Sizzle, pop, and whip it mean. Your kitchen queen on the cooking screen.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I know it's been a bit, but I'm finally starting to feel better. So tonight, I'm making a recipe that's based off of another recipe, if that makes any sense. Um, it's an Irish dish, and I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's something like conlon, I believe, and it's potatoes with cabbage and bacon grease. So we're gonna see how it turns out, and you guys get to see. So guys, to start, I am getting my potatoes peeled, and then we're gonna chop them, get them started boiling to make mashed potatoes, and then we're going to cook some bacon and get that going. The last part of this is doing the cabbage, so that won't happen just yet, but you guys will see how that's done. So just gonna make some potatoes here, and then we'll move on to the next part. Well, guys, I've peeled some potatoes. I just want to see how much I actually have, because you don't need a lot of potatoes for this recipe, but you do need some. So I got 4 potatoes peeled. I'm just going to chop them up, see how much that actually gives me, and then we're going to go from there. Well, guys, I'm not using the whole pack of bacon. We're going to stick the rest in the freezer. So I am going to carefully pull apart some pieces here, which is proving to be a little difficult. Quite difficult, actually. That's an awfully large piece of bacon. So we're going to attempt to peel some bacon here. I'm not sure how well it's going to work, but we're going to try. We don't need all of this either, honestly. So we're just going to see what we can get in here and go from there. Now, once we get the bacon cooked, we are going to set the bacon aside. And then we are going to put the cabbage in here in the bacon grease, so it sops up some of that flavor. And then we start kind of putting everything together. So make sure you stay tuned. Well, guys, I got this head of cabbage, not lettuce, at one of our farmers markets type things. It's a greenhouse and they have a market. Obviously, I'm not using all this cabbage for this recipe, so we're just going to use a little tiny portion of it, and the rest will come into a different recipe. So all I'm going to do, try not to cut myself, is we're going to use about this much, if I can, chop it. This is proving to be a little difficult. I should be getting Mike to do this part. Yeah. See, guys, I don't want to hurt myself like I did on the mandolin the last time, so I'm trying to be a little extra careful. Whew. It's a solid cabbage. Now that we've got this cut, took a little longer than expected, we are going to chop it up, and then I'm going to set it aside in that bowl. And there is our cabbage for putting in the pan later. So we're just going to let that sit for a little bit, and then I'll show you the next steps. Well, guys, as you can see, this is not me shredding the cheese. I've got Mike doing that so that I can focus on the stuff on the stove, because everything's getting kind of to the place where we need it to be. So I've got him doing that. Here's my bacon starting to go. The water's still boiling over here with the potatoes. And then Mike's shredding the cheese. So we'll get back to you momentarily. So guys, most of my bacon is done. So I'm going to start pulling it out and setting it aside on this paper towel so it can drain itself. We don't want the bacon to be overcooked, but we do want it to be crispy in nature. So I'm just going through the ones that are done or look to be done and not get myself splattered, because my luck lately, it would happen. So the last ones that we have in here are ones that were kind of the ones that didn't pull apart so well. So they're going to take a minute or two more. And like I said, you would cook your cabbage in the bacon grease. However, I think because of the pan I'm using, I'm not coming up with a lot of bacon grease. So we're going to put a little bit of oil in there to cook the cabbage. So guys, the bacon is all out of the pan, and this is what I'm left with. There's really not a lot of bacon grease in there. All the stuff is in there, so that's going to give us lots of flavor. So I'm going to have to add a little bit of oil. And yes, it's the big bottle that we got from Costco. And I did turn the heat down on the stove just so nothing would come back and spray at me. Because, like I said, my luck, that's what would happen. Now, this recipe calls for onion. I really don't feel like chopping onion, so I'm just going to use the dried onion. So, I'm going to open that up. We're going to put a little bit in here. Yep. That kind of looks like it would be half an onion. We'll go with that. So we're just going to let that cook up a little bit. Now we're going to start smelling onion in the house. Trying to scrape some of the grease off of the bottom so we can get the taste going. Okay. So now that we got that, next I'm going to start placing some of this cabbage into the pan. And listen to that go. Now, this part should only take a couple minutes for it to cook down. So we're just going to let that go. If I need to, I will add some more oil or butter in here just to get it going a little bit more. So guys, I've decided, just so we can get a little bit more flavor going in here, I'm going to add some margarine. So I'm just going to let that melt down a bit. And right away here, we're going to start making the potatoes and let this cook down. I might actually put a lid on it just so it doesn't splatter everywhere. But this is what it's looking like right now. It's starting to cook down nicely. And my word, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so nice. Well, guys, the other thing, one of the many recipes I looked at uses is minced garlic. So I'm not going to do it myself. I'm going to do it the lazy way. I am just going to get a little tiny spoon here. And we're just going to take a little tiny bit because it's not going to, you don't need much. So literally probably half a teaspoon. We're going to throw that in. And then this can go back in the fridge after I give this a quick little stir. And mix it all around in here so it gets nicely mixed. And I will pick up that piece of cabbage. And now we're just going to let this keep cooking. So I've drained the potatoes. I'm just going to let them sit there for a minute, just so I don't get steamed or anything like that. Then we're going to make our mashed potatoes. And hopefully by then that will be done. Then we can throw the pieces of bacon in with that and then put everything together, throw it in the oven with a little bit of cheese, and then it's almost done. So that's where we're at. So I've just got it lightly mashed. I'm going to add some butter. And honestly, any type of butter works. Butter, margarine, whatever you have. And the more butter, the better, in my eyes, for mashed potatoes. So we've got that. I'm going to mix this in a little bit so that that can get melted. And then we're going to add some milk. Well, adding just a little bit of milk to see, because you don't want to make it into potato soup. Although one day I should try to make some potato soup. So we're just going to mix this up a bit more. And I'm thinking that's pretty darn good. But let's see. You know what? I'm going to add a little bit more. Not much more, but a little bit. Just so that once it goes in the oven too, it's not going to completely dry out. So we're just going to mix this a little bit in. And I know some of you are probably going, oh, she's using the mixer in a pot. This is an old pot. It's garbage. So I really don't care if the mixer goes in it. So that's done now. So now we just have to wait for this to cook down just a little bit more. And then we'll start assembling everything. So now that the bacon has sat and drained most of its grease off, I'm sitting here, well, standing here, and I'm just crunching up the bacon for it to go in the pan. And honestly, you can make these as big as or small as you want for pieces. That one probably could have been cooked a little bit longer, but whatever. Well, guys, the cabbage is pretty much done. So we're going to take this and we're going to dump it all into this pot. Oh, put that on the bottom. Try to get some of that in there. Okay, so I'm just going to move this over to the sink so we don't burn ourselves. I do have this element just on low right now. We're going to start mixing it all up. That looks so yummy. Look at that. Does that not look delicious? And now I'm going to grab my bacon. Take it off of that. We're going to just throw the bacon in like that. We're going to mix this in. Now, if you like bacon, you can add more if you want. I just went with this because obviously that's all my pan could really hold. So there it is, all mixed together. Looks absolutely delicious. And just going to let that sit for a minute, do its all thing, and meet each other kind of thing. And then I'm going to get the oven preheated. We're going to set it to 350, nice and warm, but not too warm, just so that the cheese is going to melt on the top. Oh, it's going to be great. Well, guys, now comes the time to put it all in the baking dish. I picked this one because hopefully it's going to be a big enough dish, which I think it should. Look at how good that looks, guys. Oh, I wish you could smell what it smells like. Need smell-o-vision for this for sure, because it smells so good. And like I said, this is a combination of like 3 different recipes that I found. They're all titled the same thing, but everyone adds different things. So I just kind of used what everyone else said and came up with this. So there it is, all layered in the pot, or in the baking dish. Now comes the cheesy part. Sorry, I'm also trying not to trip on a dog. We're just going to put some of this on here. Now you're not putting a lot on, just enough so it kind of melts in and gives it a little bit of a cheesy flavor. And of course, this is just freshly grated cheese, so it kind of clumps up a lot. And I think that about does it for the cheese. So the oven's almost at 350. So I'm going to start putting this in, and we're going to let it bake for at least 5 minutes. Not going to burn myself. Not going to burn the dog that keeps trying to stick her nose in it. We're going to put it in and close her up. And I will see you guys in about 5 minutes my time. Obviously a couple seconds in your time. And we'll see how it turned out. Well, guys, I just poked my head in there and it is done. So now we're going to pull it out. Not let my dog get too close. And we're going to move it over here. And now it is just going to sit there for a few minutes to let the grease and everything all sit in. And then it's going to be time to eat. So stay tuned. Well, guys, it has now sat for a few minutes. Look at how it all settled in there. So now I'm just using the spoon that I had before. Save on a few dishes. I'm going to scoop that in here. And we'll give Mike a little bit more than that. Oh, look at all that yummy cheese. Doesn't that look so good? So there's one for Mike. And now I'm going to dish up mine, and then we'll sit down and tell you what we think. Well, now that Mike has had a couple bites, what do you think?
It's very good. Cheese is good. I like cheese in my anything, you know that. The potatoes, the cabbage, the bacon, everything's all, the flavor is really good. Actually, I really like it. I give it like a 10 out of 10 on this one for sure.
Oh, wow.
Because we hadn't had this for a while.
This is different than the last time I made it.
Yeah. But,
completely different.
But totally 10 out of 10 on this.
Would you change anything?
More bacon, probably a little bit. A little more bacon.
A little more bacon?
Yep.
Okay.
That's about it.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you liked it.
Mikey likes it.
Well, guys, other than it being really hot still, it's good. I think the only thing I would do next time is cook the cabbage a little bit longer, because it's a little crunchy, which is perfectly fine. For me personally, I would like it a little softer. And probably use a pan where I can get more bacon grease, because more bacon flavor would taste really good. Next time I make it, I'll probably do a few more variations. But all in all, I think combining 3 different recipes worked out really good. So I just want to say thank you to everyone for coming back in. I greatly appreciate it. I know it's been a while. My health is definitely getting better. But I want to say thank you. And so glad you guys have stayed with me. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bon appetit, everyone.